Good morning. We're facing a real good football team this week in the Buffalo Bills. Extremely talented on the offensive side of the ball. MVP of the league, and Josh Allen. This guy's tremendous. Can win with his legs, takes advantage of his opportunities when he's out in space. They have a home run threat, in my opinion, in the backfield and Cook, and a tremendous group of tight ends and receivers. So it's definitely going to be a challenging task for us this week. Very talented unit, as I mentioned, very resilient in the way they came back last week, being able to score right at the half, and most importantly, to score at the end of the game to win it. So I know our guys will be up for the challenge, and with that, I take your questions. I thought we did some great things, particularly up front. We did a great job controlling the line of scrimmage throughout the game, and coming up with some plays when needed, particularly sacks. Where we need to improve, which I know we will, we've already started that process, is really taking advantage of our opportunities on the back end.
How encouraging was it to see Will kind of pick up right where he left off last year?
It was great. I think he's a guy that's going to continue to improve each and every week. I think he's done an outstanding job in the run game as well, where a lot of people don't give him credit for. They just see the splash plays, which I love as well. The plays on the quarterback and those kind of things. And I thought Jermaine did a tremendous job. Being out for a while, you're always a little leery when a guy comes back and making sure that he doesn't have too many reps, but it's like he never missed a beat, so I was excited to see him as well.
You mentioned the back end. How do you think the communication was? And I think the play that jumped in my mind is the first touchdown they scored. Just the communication.
I don't really think it was a problem with communication. I think in each situation, it was an isolated incident with one guy. And we talk about it all the time. It's like we got to have 11 guys playing as one. And that was just one individual right there that what I call had bad eyes in that situation, which we saw the same thing in man coverage on the touchdown play. So we got to do a great job of really making sure that we stay focused on our keys and then execute. But beyond that, it was encouraging. And as AG mentioned, there's no more victories here. We lost the football game, and the Steelers did a good job. And we're moving on to this week.
What makes Josh, like you talked about, phenomenal, but what makes him this quarterback?
Well, beyond, his unique size and arm strength and his ability, to run with his speed, his athleticism, the guy's smart, and I think they've done a great job, in my opinion, surrounding him with, quality players that fit their mode. And I give a lot of credit to McDermott and Brandon Beam, who I know real well. They've done an outstanding job there. So I think he's an outstanding player, as we all know, but he has a great supporting cast as well.
What impressed you about Will in the opener? And, what do you think of his ceiling? He kind of had his breakout season last year. Now, he's gotten stronger. And, what's just your thoughts on him and how he's done?
I'll be honest, I really, when you say impressed, definitely always impressed with guys, executing and doing their job. I wasn't surprised at all. He's shown that ability before I got here on tape. You mentioned he's gotten stronger, and I mentioned earlier about his ability to be able to play the run better, which I love. But he's just so limbo on the outside. He creates different problems and matchups across the board. So I think the ceiling is high for him, and we just got to continue to keep pressing each week.
You talked last week about Harrison Phillips and how he picked things up pretty quickly and everything like that. What did you see from him in the first game? Was there something that stood out for you in the first game?
Just the execution of doing his job. I think sometimes those guys on the outside really don't get the credit in games like this because you really don't see the effect that he's having on the other guys. But his presence there allowed Quinnen to do a lot of things that he did in the game. So it's great to be able to have him in the fold.
How would you assess Brandon Stevens off last week?
Let me go back and assess him throughout his time since he's been here. He's had an outstanding offseason. OTAs, mini camp. Had probably one of the better training camps that we've had, and I'm not going to make any judgment off one game. I think if you speak with him, which you probably already have, he'll tell you that there's some things that he needs to improve on from that game. And number one is just really with his eyes. So I'm still a big Brandon Stevens fan, and he's going to do a great job for us as we progress and win football games this year.
How important is he for you guys when you don't know how good Sauce can be and play great on Sunday? Teams are most likely going to stay away from him. I mean, how important is it that Brandon plays well for you guys?
I think it's important that all our guys play well, to be quite honest, and I agree. Sauce is an outstanding player. Many teams aren't going to want to take that opportunity or chance to go to his side, so Brandon knows he's going to get a lot of those plays, and I think he's going to be up for the task.
When you have a young player like Malachi Moore, how do you balance trying to develop him as quickly as you can and also helping, you don't want to put him in bad situations and helping the team? So I guess I'm asking, how ready is he to contribute on defense in a large role?
We do a great job, and let me say the defensive staff is outstanding. They're great teachers. They take quality and extra time with their players in the meeting room as well as on the field. Malachi is doing an outstanding job, and I don't think it's really trying to hold him back or reserve him. I think he's getting developed each and every day, and when the opportunity presents himself, I think he's going to be ready. He's going to go in the game and perform.
Good morning. Good morning. Real quick, just to get started, I'm proud of our guys in terms of just how they put last week to bed. Looking forward to this week in regards of our guys' preparation. Excited for them to go out and get another opportunity to compete against another really good, fundamentally disciplined unit. In regards to Xavier Gipson, I love that kid. He lights up any room he walks into. He did a phenomenal job for us in the offseason, everything we asked and challenged him with. But we felt like as an organization we had to do what we felt like was best for the team. Wish him nothing but the best. And like Coach AG said yesterday, he's a good player. He will play in this league for sure, so there's no doubt about it. But moving forward, we feel really, really comfortable and confident about the guys we do have in the building right now. I'm looking forward to see what they can help us do as we go keep going.
Can you speak about a couple of the acquisitions, Isaiah Williams and then Keelan Robinson as well?
Keelan, I know he's out of Texas, second-year guy, I believe. Real competitive. I remember when I was in Denver watching this tape and what he was able to put on tape from a special teams perspective was impressive. So looking forward to just kind of getting that juice and energy in the building. I think that's always good. When you talk about Isaiah, AG mentioned it yesterday about him being with those guys in Detroit. So he's built right. He's already done his best to try to hit the ground running, and we'll see where it ends up going from there.
What about some of the guys you had here already, like Arian and maybe Jamal? How have they looked in return there?
Oh, all those guys do their best in terms of coming to work every day and putting their best foot forward. So those guys have been really, really intentional and detailed for us, and we look forward to continuing to climb with that as a group.
What about Isaiah Davis? What he brings in terms of return game?
We know what Isaiah brings just as a football player in general. When you talk about the return game, obviously he did some of that last year. But the big thing about Isaiah, just like I just said, he's a football player. And whatever it is you ask him to do, I joke around with Isaiah. I actually heard this from one of our other coaches. If he messes up something, it's not because he messed up. It's more likely you coached it wrong. So Isaiah's been really, really good for us, and looking forward to whatever we ask him to do for him to do it at a high level.
Obviously, you didn't have to punt in the first half of last week's game, but when you did have to punt, what did you see from that, and what is encouraging about what you got going with Austin?
When we did have to punt, we only had two. I thought his second one was tremendous, and it gave our guys a chance to really, really flip the field and set the defense up with a long field, which is always the goal when we talk about field position. But just everybody on the unit, I think, collectively put their best foot forward, and even though we had a small sample size, very encouraged going forward.
What's folks' range on a good day? It seemed like he had a little bit of a cushion there in the 55.
Yeah, I guess you gotta ask him. You gotta ask him in terms of how he's feeling. I think Folk knows himself more than anybody else. Obviously, he's just been doing it at a high level for a long time. So when you talk about his range, you gotta ask him on that.
Stiggers, how much are you dependent on him early? I mean, he's he's getting a lot of run on all your units.
No doubt. So he's definitely somebody we depend on, just like a lot of our guys. Obviously, with him going into his in his second year, the big thing is for him to just continue to climb, elevate with the opportunities that he has right now, and just challenging him, always bringing juice and energy, which he has done. He's been really, really good for us so far.
If Juan was out for a little,
Excuse me?
He's out for a little bit of time. How does that impact you guys?
It's tough because we all know what Kane can do from a kick return perspective, his history as a returner. But for us, we got to keep moving forward. Like I said earlier, really, really confident about the guys we still have in the building, and we're just going to do our best to make sure we put them in the best position to be successful.
What have you seen from the Bills as far as their special teams are concerned?
Oh, like I said earlier, just competitive, disciplined, fundamentally sound. Just the culture of that whole team. I think that shows through their special teams units as well. So it's going to be a challenge for us.
We've heard a lot of guys say, they're kind of willing to help out wherever's needed on the team. How encouraging is that for you, just knowing that there's a lot of guys on this roster that are willing to put the time in on special teams if that's, if their name is called?
Very, very encouraging. Very, very encouraging. When you talk about some of our starters, just some of the other guys who probably aren't seen as four-core guys, but willing to have an all-hands-on-deck mentality, I think that's huge. We've mentioned this earlier in the offseason, but just about our unit, about it being bigger than us, bigger than you, it's bigger than me. So the fact that they've been able to have that mindset and that approach has really, really been encouraging and a spark for the club in general.
What do you think about Kiko in his first pro game?
Yeah, Kiko did some good things. Kiko did some good things. He's very competitive. He does a good job of downloading the information he needs to be able to put himself in the best position to be successful. But just like the rest of the group, we talk about always getting better and learning things from previous games, previous reps. So we're just always on that climb, trying to get better as a group.